I can do better here. I want to try and give a different perspective of what's happening on Joe Blue's channel. Because he says finding a pattern is a sign of high IQ. And being unable to recognize pattern is a sign of low IQ. And the pattern of cat pictures, uh, anime hentai, as he called it, avatars, all those different things on your Steam profile will automatically add as evidence to you being a cheater. Underscore in your name being a sign of a cheater, hyphen in your name, him not understanding a language and then calling it a random assortment of letters being sign of cheaters. I want to add a different perspective to that because it's a real thing that actually exists, but I only came across it recently after like scrolling through shorts on YouTube. And like I love the guy that made this video here. It's a normal video. But I want to start with these comments here. So as you can see, like someone says it just looks like a bad player doing bad plays. Then we have Joe responding. We have him like saying, well, it's your lack of skill in the clip that is evident for why things are happening. Then Joe going even further and him saying they're not cheaters, you're just bad. The evidence is literally just in the clip itself. Joe then says, so you're denying what's happening in the clip and all that shit. And then he continues, you're misinterpreting them and pointing to them as evidence of cheating, when in reality you just don't have skill enough to understand the sound in the game. Now, the video is called by Vsauce. I love this guy here. He's informative. He's super cool. He does it in a very like cool way of learning. Why does Earth look drippy? If we do this here, just for the sound.
Have you ever noticed that Earth appears to be dripping? Like almost every glob of land tapers off in the same direction, like all of it's melting and running down south to pool at the bottom. Well, a lot of people have. It's called continental drip, and it's real. Just a coincidence. We just happen to be alive when Earth happens to look like this. Our brains have a tendency to find meaningful connections in unrelated things.
Let me just highlight that moment. Meaningful connections in unrelated things. Think about that for a moment, and I will give you the word for what it's called. Because Joe says it's a sign of a cheater when they have an underscore in their name. It's a sign of a cheater when they have a hyphen in their name. It's a sign of a cheater when they have a random assortment of letters that he doesn't understand, because then it becomes a random assortment of letters and not just a word from another language or a connection of letters from a novel that you took and then shortened down and then put your own like nickname to it, or you yourself creating a word that you like, or stealing Loktar Ogar from World of Warcraft, meaning victory or death, or whatever it is you would do, stealing a spell from Harry Potter. Like anything could go for a gamer tag, but according to Joe, that would magically make it a random assortment of letters. Or cat avatars, anime avatars, any sort of picture that Joe doesn't like, using a cat skin from a game like Fortnite, a cat resembling skin in Fortnite, anything like that, you are then more or less a cheater the instant Joe sees you. If you shoot Joe without him being aware of how it's done, you're a cheater. Like there are so many things that Joe experienced that he makes a connection to. and then calls it this is cheating. And the word for all this is
It's called apophenia, but
apophenia. It's a real thing. People does it. You heard him in regards to the landmass. If you simply Google finding meaningful connection in unrelated things, you find apophenia. So simply just saying that also finds you the actual word for it. So it's not any like anything special. And funny enough, Psychology Today have an article back from April 11th April 2023 that says, "Are you seeing patterns that don't exist? How to protect yourself from the pitfall of patternicity." So it's a condition also under patternicity. Both 7 and 8. Wow, numbers 7 and 8. Perceiving connections between unrelated events. People often perceive connection between unrelated events, such as believing their lucky charm helped them win a game, or that a cat skin is a cheater that helped them lose a game. That a cheater that targeted them, something like that. Illusory correlation. I don't know how to speak anymore. Illusory correlation. The correlation is the perception of a relationship between two variables when no such relationship exists, such as believing that wearing a particular color shirt brings good luck. Again, wearing a specific avatar skin is an indication of cheaters. It's not a correlation at all. Like, he does it all the time. You can pick any of his cheater videos and he will do it. One example of Joe taking profile pictures out of proportion.
Anybody that's going to like embody or glorify or use the imagery of Satan and Satanism, I'm going to think immediately that these people may have questionable morals. They might not be the most upstanding citizens and would be more likely that they're a cheater in a video game than not being a cheater.
There you have it. A profile picture can say that you're a cheater. Another moment where he talks about someone being a cheater.
You will see here they've got the anime avatar Chinese name. All their names are basically Chinese except for the one, was China #1 and all that. So it will seem likely that this person is a Chinese ping abuser. Nothing more to it than that.
And here he starts bringing the attention from anime over to cats.
And of course he has a cat avatar. This is starting to become quite obvious that the cat avatar is the new anime profile. If they've got a cat avatar, it's likely that they are cheating. This seems to be the new cheater code word, or the code avatar to let us
see. So he brings attention to something and then makes a meaningful connection between these things here to justify why he's dying, but there are no connection between them. Number 9, apophenia, the tendency to perceive meaningful connection between unrelated things, such as believing that a particular song on a radio is a message from a deceased loved one, or a cat avatar is a message to other cheaters. Hey guys, I'm on your side. I'm a cheater too, so don't hurt me. Like, no, it's just a fucking picture. It's not a pattern between them. It's not a connection between them. There's nothing. If anything, you need to prove there is. You have absolutely no definitive proof that all these people actually are cheaters. You speculate they are cheaters, but everything can be explained with the in-game mechanics. Like every single thing. Seeing patterns and randomness. He shot me from an angle I don't know. It's not anything special. People often see patterns in random events, such as believing that a sequence of coin toss is not random because have been too many heads or tails in a row. Yeah, Joe got killed by too many anime avatar profiles, so it's no longer randomness. Still is random. And funny enough, those that doesn't have the cat avatar, anime avatar, he usually just brush off as being, okay, I might be wrong here, but they still are sus. Like it's rare for him to actually use those non cat profiles, non anime profiles as being something. So this here was just a different perspective as to what Joe are doing on this channel. And there are a lot of people also on his channel commenting saying that he needs help, which I sincerely think that he does, because he's taking gaming out of proportion and making it a life like determining thing, as in how good is his health based on how many times he wins, uh, all that type of thing. It's bordering insanity at this point.